By the end of this video, you are going to know 4 strong reasons and why you should be choosing a life partner instead of opting for a long-term relationship. And so just so you understand, the biggest difference between a life partner and a long-term relationship is the commitment that you make to one another. A long-term relationship is more about feelings and emotions and that love kind of bond only, whereas a life partner is more about that conscious choice and conscious effort to grow together. So the first one I've put on my list is mutual growth and focus, which I just touched upon about the growth. And so what this means is that the mutual growth and focus is you decide what you want from your relationship. Where do you both see yourself? So it's a more consciously choosing of like, these are the things we want to get. These are the things we want to grow. So that could be from triggers. That could be from learning, from growing, from books, from clubs, whatever it is. But you have an understanding that you want to grow together. And so that means opening up, of course, communication so that you're always talking about that. Whereas what can happen with a romantic relationship is that usually people tend to go in different directions. Sometimes they first might just end up not on the same page, and then they're not even in the same book because they're growing in 2 different directions. So the next one on the list I have is emphasis on communication and problem solving. So you might have noticed, if you've had many relationships in your past, about the continuous arguing over the same stuff over and over again. And sometimes it can be the smallest thing. I mean, one of my oldest friends fell out over a bag of potatoes. And I know that a lot of relationships can argue just over this. Well, it is petty, but I do understand that the smaller things add up to bigger things. And so with the emphasis on the communication and problem solving, again, because the partnership is about being growth orientated and intentionally working on the relationship and the connection and the partnership, then it's like, if you think about a business, when problems come up, you know, when you're in partnership in business, what do? You problem solve. Whereas in a relationship, people just tend to just, as I said, keep repeating them over and over again. So that is a massive difference. Again, you're intentionally and consciously working through the issues that come up. And it's not about a compromise. It's about finding a win-win. Okay, so the next one on the list is the focus on the long-term alignment. And again, I've touched upon this, but this is more specifically that knowing that you're going in the same direction and staying that. And it's not about altering yourself and who you are so that you're staying in alignment. In fact, it's actually quite the opposite for that. But it's about that continuously connecting and talking and communicating. You know, like I said, like if you think about a business partnership, you don't just start taking the partnership for granted. They're continuously checking in with each other to make sure the values, the goals and everything is still aligned and is still that long-term goal and still moving in the same direction. Whereas a romantic relationship, they don't tend to do that. They tend to just go on and just take each day as it comes up, and a week or month or whatever, without really consciously working through stuff or thinking about, okay, actually in the long term, where do we see our relationship? And what's really important about this is that in life, it's so important as an individual that you have goals that you are working towards. I mean, they don't have to be big, massive goals. They can just be being your highest self, or showing up as best as you can every day and working on that every single day. So it doesn't have to be something massive. And then in a partnership, you have the partnership goals. What do we want to achieve together? So that could be, even if it's like traveling, and as I said previously, working through triggers or unhealed parts, from the past and things, or learning something together. I think I watched something with Will Smith actually, and him and his partner. They read all the religious scriptures together and then would talk about them. So that's something where you've got long-term goals of, okay, this is what we want to do together. It could be getting healthier, but you just have that and you're both working towards it, as well as your own individual ones. So the last one I have on my list is authentic self. This is what's so beautiful about the partnerships and lifetime partnerships, is there is, if anything, rather than having to shape and mold yourself or both people to fit into the relationship, in a partnership, being your authentic self it's encouraged, and understanding that each individual to grow to their best self is actually going to be the best thing for the partnership. And so rather than, as I said, trying to compromise within arguments and disagreements and things that come up, or maybe like hiding parts of yourself or not being able to express your true self because your partner might not like it, it's about being that true self. And if it's something that grates on your partner, then it's about working through that. Okay, so, just as an example, I can have quite a scattered mind. And so for a partner who is very calm and chilled, that could be a little bit intense. Can you imagine if you're really peaceful, and I'm very peaceful, but if you're very calm and chilled and laid back and you've got somebody who's like buzzing around, that might be a lot for some people. So in a partnership, rather than just getting frustrated about it, in a relationship, rather than getting frustrated about it, in a partnership, what you do is you talk and you figure out a way, okay, how can we work around this so that, you can still be your authentic self, but it's in a way where the relationship, where the partnership is still, being nurtured and growing to its best possible, highest potential. Anyway, there are many other things that also add to a partnership. But again, the biggest thing about the partnership is you are consciously and intentionally working together on the connection. And so that there don't have to be sacrifices, and that you're just working as a team. And I personally feel that this creates a deeper emotional bond than a relationship, because you're actively helping one another to be your best self and the relationship. Whereas just kind of, you're just really wanting the companionship and the love, like you're really helping each other to grow mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, sexually. And to me, I think that is wonderful. And we definitely need to be taught more about this. Anyway, I'm going to leave the video here. Thanks so much for watching. And if you've got anything you think that you'd like to add, or that you'd like me to talk about, or that you think could be helpful for another user or myself, then please do share. All right. Thank you so much. Love and blessings. Bye.